Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to the weekly show. Welcome to the Christel Crawford show. I'm Christel Crawford. I am getting my microphone because I forgot. It probably sounds fine, but I am OCD and OCC and CJC and super kinky. Hi Katie. Hey Katie Kelly. So I called this week's episode, actually my team helped me with this one, which I was really grateful for. What did I call it? What is life worth living and how the hell do I get there? And I'm so grateful for all of you guys. And I send an email out every single week. So if you guys want to be receiving my emails about, when I'm going to be live, all you have to do is go to my website, christeljoycrawford.com, and there's a form right there. Just put your email in there and you'll get an email. And so I wanted to chit chat with you a little bit today around like, what the fuck is life worth living? I've been talking a lot about this. I've been playing a lot with it in my own life. And so I'm excited. So I had a few people send me in questions, but I wanted to start off today by talking about a session that I just had with a really cool entrepreneur. And because it has everything to do with this topic. And one of the things that I've noticed in my life, in the lives of the people that I work with, hi Aurelia, hi Martha. If you guys have any questions about this topic, by the way, you're live with me, post them, I will talk about them. What is life worth living and how do you have it? We were having this session and she's brilliant at what she does. Are any of you guys brilliant at what you do? I'm brilliant at what I do. But right now isn't having the contribution of money in her life like she'd like to have it. And so we started working together, and I do a lot of coaching. So if you guys are entrepreneurs and you want some coaching, chit chat with me seems to be the phrase of the day. Hi Tabitha, reach out to me. Hey Bert. So anyway, we're having a session, and the point of this is that one of the things that I've watched as she and I have been working together is that the light is coming back on in her eyes. And so today we were talking about her business, and she's been doing her business for like 9 years. Well, a lot of you guys have been doing business, but if you haven't been doing business, you've been alive for longer than 9 years. And the thing that she kept struggling with her business was feeling tired, like just bored and tired. And so of course, money follows joy. And when you're bored and tired with what you're doing, guess what doesn't show up? You do the math, right? And so I started asking her some really different questions, like, well, okay, so you have a weekly show every week. Well, what's the purpose of the show for you? Okay, so you have a Facebook group. Okay, what's the purpose of the Facebook group for you? What are you actually creating with it? Okay, so you have an email list. Well, what's the purpose of that? What are you creating? All of the conversation, I kept bringing it back to and back around to. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Diana. Hi, Mary. What are you doing this for? Now, this is a different conversation than like, what's your purpose on the planet? Which is, like there's so many different books on that. I grew up in the Christian world, and there's a book called The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. Not that I necessarily recommend that, but this conversation is a little different than that in the sense of like, what does it take to be willing to live the energy of what you'd like your life to be? What is the energy of a life worth living? And of life worth living. Like, what's the energy of creating something that makes life worth living? Why would you do that? And for me, what I've been discovering is that the more that I'm willing to ask that question of like, what choices can I make that make life worth living? Money shows up, fun stuff show up, hi Hatis. All these other things show up. All this fun shit shows up, right? Like more sex, more money, more life, more fun ideas, more fun things. Like life worth living turns out it's pretty fucking fun. And what goes away is all the trauma and drama of not fun. So I wouldn't choose that for what reason? But I think what we have to start looking at is like, what is this for me? Because you guys can listen to me all day long. I could share my friend who has this business, hi Karina, has taken all different kinds of classes and had coaches and taken all different kinds of business classes. You can take all the classes and you can do all the things. But until you start asking what life worth living is for you, you're never going to get the energy of it. And the reason that I'm talking about this, I actually have a 5-day money challenge going on right now that's only $10. All you have to do is go to 5daymoneychallenge.com to play. And this conversation is linked to money. Life worth living is linked to money. When you are just doing, plodding along in your life, doing the thing. This is the same in relationship, actually. You get into a relationship, you've been in a relationship for a long time, now you guys are just doing relationship. Guess what happens? All the fucking life goes out of it. Nobody cares anymore. I mean, we care, but we stop caring, right? In coupledom, people stop having sex. In marriages, people just go sleep in different bedrooms. All of a sudden, that snoring that you thought was cute at the beginning is annoying, so you sleep in different bedrooms. In businesses, Facebook groups go dead, and email lists go dormant. And so when this question isn't looked at, like, things die. But when you nurture the platform of you, when you nurture the platform of you, which is one of the things that this conversation does, if you're willing to have it with you, everything grows. It's just, like, really, guys, we're just like gardens. Like, we're just like, you know, hydrangeas. Hydrangeas are kind of high maintenance plants when you plant them in the wrong place, because you really have to watch their root. We're kind of like hydrangeas. So, like, they require stuff at the roots to make sure that they grow well. Of course, I did most of my gardening up in Ontario, where everybody in Ontario wants plants that actually grow like in Costa Rica. But they're like, no, it'll be fine, it'll be good. No, actually, everybody in Ontario wants plants that grow in Vancouver. They all want rhododendrons. When you go to Vancouver, rhododendrons get to be like 82 feet across. They're massive, and they bloom, and they're glorious. Everybody in Ontario wants to have Vancouver rhododendrons in Ontario, but rhododendrons don't like Ontario. It's too fucking cold. So anyway, we're kind of like that, only different. But I tell you all that to go, like, when you nurture the platform of you, and you actually ask yourself these questions of, like, for what reason am I doing this? For what reason am I doing this job? For what reason am I in this relationship? For what reason am I blah, blah, blah? Then you start to actually look at what it is for you, and then you can change it. And so this is money, guys. And one of the conversations that I had with her was like, you know, so her business has a particular topic. Some of you guys have businesses like, my business does blah, 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 right? My business delivers access consciousness tools in 18 different directions, right? I deliver access consciousness tools and videos. You guys are here participating. I have a group called the Awareness Challenge, which is epic. You guys should join it. Go to theawarenesschallenge.com. You can download a free thing there. You know, I do live classes all around the world. I do online classes all around the world. I do coaching. I do one-on-one sessions. So that's what my business does. But the roots of my business are, I'm creating less judgment. I'm creating less judgment all around the world, right? So that platform can show up any which way. Hi, Frank Fridella. And from that platform, money can show up, because from that platform, I am creating from, like, my deepest joy. Like, joy is that sense of peace, the peace of joy and the joy of peace, right? From there, everything is possible. From there, it's like when you're singing, and I'm not a singing coach, but I know I've sang. And so when you're singing, when you actually allow your energy to tap down into the earth and, like, flood through your body, and you sing from down here, your singing's different. You're being singing. And that's what happens in your life when you, like, tap down here and you get a sense of, like, your deepest joy, the joy of peace and the peace of joy. Like, what is this for me? What is life worth living for me? If I were choosing and creating this from life worth living, what would I create? What would I choose? Thank you, Frank. So anyway, I had a few people send me in some questions, and I want to make this more relevant to you guys. Well, pock and pod me as if this wasn't relevant. All right. Anna sent me in a question I'm really excited about, and so did Tabitha. So I want to talk about them both because we've got 20 minutes together, guys. Grab a coffee, let's chat. Okay. Anna said, thank you so much for your shows. I love them, and I love your radiance. Thank you. You're moving so fast. I love your creativity. It's inspiring. I do move fast. I have a question, or perhaps it's a judgment. I feel like I've been blocking myself from receiving money in a huge way and being financially independent. I seem to think, or other people think, that I'm blocking myself, or am the one creating the destruction and dependence instead of independence in what I seek. My question is, how do I break through this judgment that I'm blocking myself? Does anybody else have this judgment? Does anybody else think you're blocking yourself? And how do I allow for money to support me? Already, I'm running the core challenge statement. She's talking about www.theawarenesschallenge.com. You can go there too. I'm running this challenge statement and I signed up for your 5-day money challenge. You can also sign up for that, 5daymoneychallenge.com. Ooh, you can send questions into Christel at ChristelJoyCrawford.com, Mr. Frank Fradella. And so I'm running the core challenge statement and I signed up for your 5-day money challenge. I want to break through this now more than ever, and I know it's a choice. However, it feels like I'm on the cusp of it, and at the same time, I'm scared to dive in fully with only receiving under 100 pounds here and there or 200 pounds. How can I break through this, and what's the question here? Okay. So this thing really here is I feel like I've been blocking myself from receiving money in a huge way and being financially independent. And so you guys, one of the first things I want to invite you to do is, as you are in the creation of your life, you got to be willing to be a great facilitator of yourself. What does that mean? Great facilitators are very present, and great facilitators listen. And sometimes you can't hear yourself talk. You're just running unconscious scripts until somebody asks you if you have a question, and then you get to hear yourself talk. So one of the things that she said, and a lot of us say this, is like, I feel like, and then we fill in the blank. I feel like that you said this thing and then this thing, or I feel like I can't make money, or I feel like this isn't working, okay? Anytime you hear yourself say, I feel like, you're about to try to prove yourself right. You've already made a decision about this. So one of the first things you want to do to change any energy around any stuck thing is POC and POD, destroy and uncreate all of your decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions about what you already think the problem is. Most of the time when we ask a question about stuff, we've already decided we have a problem. So here's my problem. I'm blocking myself with money. This is what's the thing, and I want to change the thing. And I'm blocking myself from receiving. I feel like I'm blocking myself from receiving, and I'm not making fun. I'm like, this is how we do it. So then we solidify what we've already decided the problem is when none of it's a problem in the first place, and we can't even have awareness about what's actually going on. So the first thing I'd invite you to do is POC and POD all of your decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions about what you guys have already decided your money problem is. Will you do that for me, with me? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. Frank, you feel attacked. Get over here, I'll attack you. So I feel like I've been blocking myself from receiving money in a huge way and being financially independent. Okay, cool. So what I would say is, well, everything you've already decided that is, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all in shorts, boys and beyonds. I seem to think, or other people think, that I'm blocking myself, or I'm the one creating the destruction and dependence instead of independence and what I seek. Now a lot of us do this. We create conflictual universes. We say we want one thing, but underneath we're running this unconscious other thing. And how do you know you're doing this? Well, your life's showing up in a way that doesn't match what you say you think you want. And so you know you've got a conflictual universe. So one of the things you can play with is all the conflictual universes, creating that right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds as a start. But the other thing that choice, hi Katya, hi Sulin. Choice is the fastest shortcut to a different reality. Not POC and PODing, choice. Sometimes it feels like you can't get to choice. Hi Michelle G. Hi Cindy. Feels like. Sometimes it feels like you can't get to choice. When it feels like you can't get to choice, that's when you want to use the clearings. And for those of you guys that are new to Access Consciousness, if you go to theclearingstatement.com, you can get a whole download on what that wacky statement is. But that's where we take an energy of a stuck place, like a decision. Anytime you take a fixed point of view about anything. So here's a fixed point of view. I feel like I've been blocking myself from receiving money. Is there a question in that? Or is there a conclusion in that? So at that conclusion point, nothing can move. So the only thing that can show up from that conclusion is proof of that conclusion. That's the only thing that can show up. So now, and I get that's why she's asking the question. It's like, well, how do I change this? Well, right now what's showing up is proof of blocking herself from receiving money, because that's the point of view, that I'm doing that. And so the universe is like, okay, we'll show you how you're doing that, right? So your point of view creates your reality, not the other way around. So when you look at your reality, when you look at, am I having life worth living right now? Am I having all the money I desire right now? No. Well, one of the questions you can ask is, what point of view do I have here that's creating this? what point of view do I have here that's creating this is a great question. And what other choices do I have here that I've never considered is another great question. Both of those, none of those questions, by the way, are why am I so fucked up? Why am I so fucked up will never get you anywhere. Why do I do this all the time is a conclusion and a judgment of you that won't get you anywhere. Why is this happening again is a conclusion and a judgment of you that also doesn't get you anywhere. An infinite being would choose this for what reason is a great question. And you could go looking for the reason, or you could just go, I don't know, I'd have to make up a story. I don't really have a good reason. Well, never mind. Maybe I'll just choose something else. Or you could run, what stupidity am I using to create the money problem I keep choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all the insurance, poison, beyond. Oh, Frank, I've got your journal all day long. So, point number 52. You create everything that shows up in your life. So you create the good and the bad and the ugly, all of it. Does that make you wrong? Does that make you bad? Or does that make you powerful? And you got to look at, hey, what makes you feel lighter, what gives you that sense of lightness is true for you, and what gives you a sense of heaviness is not true for you. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. If it makes you lighter, cool. When I started looking at the information that I create everything, it made me lighter. I didn't like it. It didn't make me like giddy because I still had so much judgment about what I was creating, but it made me lighter. So I was like, okay, I create everything. So I'm creating being dependent right now. I wonder what else is possible that I've never considered. Like, am I willing to actually ask for what's beyond dependence for me? I had never even really considered asking. Ask and you shall receive it was just a concept for me. So that's one of the things that you can do when you seem to get to a point where you can't create beyond it. You can ask the universe to show you, hey, what's beyond this that I've never considered? Because a lot of us, we keep trying to create from reference points of things we've seen, right? That's what a reference point is. Well, all I had ever seen in my life was brokenness and poverty. And trying to out-create that on like creating from that platform of like brokenness and poverty and lack and need, which is everywhere my mother functioned with money. God rest her soul. Oh wait, she's still here. Trying to out-create that on a daily basis was really tiring. But looking at it as a platform from which I was creating and just going, well, do I want to keep creating from there or would I like to create a different platform? Was easier. I was like, what would I like my reality with this to be? One of my favorite conversations in the How to Become Money workbook, which if you have not gone through it, if you go through that workbook every 2 weeks, you will change your financial reality. Nobody does it, but it is epic. And one of my favorite conversations in that workbook is, he's like, you guys will create from every point of view about money. You'll create from need, you'll create from lack, you'll create from not enough, you'll create from worry, you'll create from stress, you'll create from anxiety, you'll create from sadness, you'll create from depression. What's the one point of view you'll never create from? No limitation. And I was like, oh, that's so good, that's so true. It's like, well, that point of view is boring. There's no drama and no limitation. I can't like cry about things and be stuck and process things, you know? Like, yeah, well, that's boring. That's a boring point of view, no limitation. Or is it, right? And I don't know what that's like, creating from no limitation. I mean, I have more of a sense of it, I guess, than I did 5 years ago, but I haven't asked for that. Like, what would it be like to create from no limitation? Jesus, that's wild. So it's a new sticky note in my question binder. So to sum up with your question, Anna, and thank you for, hi, Jamie, thank you for letting me run all over it, roughshod, is basically POC and POD, your decisions, judgments, computations, and conclusions, okay, that you already made about this. Ask what else is possible here that I've never considered, and what choices do I have available that I've never considered, and actually wonder what's beyond dependence that I have not yet been willing to perceive, okay? All right, let's move on to the next question. Miss Tabitha sent me in another one about relationship. It's so good, okay? So she's got a lover way far away, all across the ocean. She didn't tell me that, but I just know. Why, I'm psychic, So she goes, what do you do if you're a little attached to something? Little attached means I'm incredibly attached and I'm not letting this go ever, so help me God. What do you do if you're a little attached to something that will make your life a lot more worth living? I heard someone say you need to be willing to lose, but in this case, I'm not. I will not take no for an answer. But if it takes longer than I want, well, I can live with that, I suppose. But is my insistence on this particular puzzle piece falling into place, strangulating the life out of my choice? The other party is just as keen for this to happen as I am, but the US government, not so much. Okay, cool. So, I think you just part of this whole, not part of, the whole, you guys, consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. It's us that judge ourselves. We're the judgers. We like to judge, and most of all, we like to judge ourselves, okay? And we like to think that we are judgmental of everyone else, which we are when we're judging ourselves, but truly, anyway. Consciousness includes you. Consciousness includes intensity. Consciousness includes romantic drama. Consciousness includes choices. Consciousness includes it all. The only question that's relevant is it working for you? If it's working for you, great. Don't change it. It's fine. There's no wrong choice and there's no right choice. There's just choice. There's just choice. Is it working, right? What I had to look at personally, what I wanted to look at personally in relationship was everywhere I was functioning from the fantasy of something rather than what was actually gonna work. The fantasy of something is just a fantasy of something. It doesn't necessarily, it's just a fantasy. Fantasy. Made up. What will actually work is something I may or may not have discovered yet. And what will actually work for me is something I may or may not have discovered yet. So personally, this is actually why I created the class Woman. For any of you guys that haven't chosen it and struggle with relationships, it will completely change the platform from which you function when it comes to relationships. And that was my demand of like, I want to have a platform with relationships that's not based on like, oh my God, I'm so in love with you, I have to move in with you right now. Or, oh my God, I need you so bad right now. Because although I love that intensity and I'm uber romantic, I am uber romantic. And so that is fun for me. What got created out of it was things like I would move in with somebody in a matter of like 3 days to a week, and then 6 months later he almost hit me, right? Like I'm not doing that again. I want to create and I'm not projecting pock and pod anywhere that got projected onto anybody else. That was for me. And I was like, I want to function differently with this for me. I want to have the peace and the ease and of choice with relationship. So you just have to look at, is it working for you? That's it. With anything, all the things. Is my business working for me? Yes or no? If no, what can I change? Is money working for me? Yes or no? No. Well, what can I change? Is this relationship scenario working for me? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, great. Is my body working for me? Yes or no? Okay, no. What can I change? That's it. That's pragmatic. That's how pragmatic these tools are. So you could run a clearing in this particular case of who or what am I not willing to lose, that if I were willing to lose them would give me all of me and everything that is times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all names, shorts, boys, and beyonds. But if that's not something you care about, then what do you want to create and what's actually possible? Well, if you want to create coming to live in the States, if you want to create you guys moving, then what question could you ask to receive the awareness of what would make that possible? What would you have to be willing to do or be to create that? None of it's wrong. It's just a choice. So that's the thing about this whole conversation of like, what makes life worth living for you? What can you create that would make life worth living for everybody? I think that's the thing I want to wrap up on that I've recently gotten awareness of. And that is that I've been playing with these access consciousness tools for like 5 years now. And this is the first year where asking a question that included me and the rest of the world began to create more in my world. I'd say prior to this last 4 to 6 months, I'd been keeping my questions pretty central to like, what would it take for me to have more money? What would it take for my business to grow? What would it take for all me and my. And that is not wrong. What I started to discover was that I was bored and it wasn't enough. And so I just start, as soon as you discover something and you start pulling a different energy, the universe contributes different things. And I started pulling into my world these people that were actually generating and creating things that included the whole planet. And all of a sudden things got interesting again. And that's the only, if there was a reason, that's the only reason to even start asking for something bigger, is when you are just like meh about everything. If you're meh about everything, you're not actually asking big enough. And big enough is whatever that is for you. Maybe you're not asking for enough money. Maybe you're not asking for, maybe you need to ask for 18 businesses, whatever it is. I don't know. But I started asking questions of like, what would create life worth living on the planet? What can I contribute to creating life worth living? And you guys are all included in that. Yes. And literally since I've been asking that, everything's starting to explode. Like I have this amazing Facebook group where all of you are playing, most of you are playing in there. My email, all the things that I was specifically targeting are now on, they now have the space to grow. And I'm getting other ideas, and I'm getting into other conversations, and I'm asking, and I'm adding other things to my life. So it's all these ands. And so if you were creating all the things, if you were creating your financial reality from life worth living, what would you change? If you were creating your business from life worth living, what could you choose and what could you change? If you were creating your business and your life from the perspective of what if this was around over the next 50 years, 100 years, 500 years, what would you change? Or is now the little blip of time that you're here and you're just going to have a great time while you're here, and that's cool too. But it's just looking at what it is for you. You know, what is the question that you can ask yourself that would generate and nurture and create a thrum in your being that will then fill and nurture and create everything else in your life? That's what generates and creates money in your world. And the choice to have it. And the thing about that energy, you are that. That if you go to theawareness.challenge.com, you can download this, I'm calling it the first core challenge. It's a clearing I got from Gary Douglas, and it's just what would it take for me to be willing to live the energy of what I'd like my life to be so that it can show up for me in totality, and everything that doesn't allow it, and all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and no sex I'm using to absolutely refuse and reject my life and the energy I'd like my life to be. I destroy and create all that. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And 30 times a day out loud for 30 days begins to generate this different awareness of the energy that you'd like your life to be. So what if the energy you'd like your life to be included the whole planet? What could the planet be like? What would you be capable of instituting and creating? And Gary says, let's all wrap up with this. He's like, you don't have the contribution of money in your life because you're not willing to be the vortex of a different reality. Wow. Cool. What am I not willing to be that if I were willing to be it would create too much money in my life? So life worth living is up to you. It's up to you to look at what makes life worth living for you. Personally, what would make life worth living on the planet if that's something that you desire to contribute to. And it's something you can start to ask to get awareness around. And it includes money. And it includes your business, and it includes your body, and it includes sex, and it includes fun, and all those other things. All right? So anyway, I am super grateful for you, like always, and I'd be really grateful if you'd share this so people can find it. And if you'd like to come play in my $10 5-day money challenge.com, you're invited. Please share this with your friends. I adore you. I will see you next week.